Hello there and welcome to the video. I want to keep analyzing my games, my classical games. I've been on a little bit of a mission to play more and following the European Club Cup and the Icelandic League. I've been working on my openings, and one of the reasons I wasn't posting a lot of videos was I was preparing for this game and the next one I will post, which were played in the Norwegian League. So I got the offer to play for the chess club in Bærum in Norway. They play in the second highest league, and they want to try to promote, but last year they got bested by Offerspil. Who can blame them? They had Magnus Carlsen, so that was always going to be tough. And this year they're fighting a tough club as well. But if they want to promote, well, they have to win their matches, and so I got the offer to play for them, 2 games. So the first one is this one against Jacob Templen Graven, a young player, 2200 plus player. He's also a streamer. I found him when I was preparing. His name is Jackster the Pro. I'll try to remember to put his link in the description. So yeah, I had a lot of time to prepare for these games, and it was a good thing that my opponents did not know that they would face me. So a lot of preparation, a lot of work, and I learned a lot, just from preparing for these games. Having said that, it's not always that your preparation goes according to plan. So my plan is to get better again at the Catalan opening. And that's what I was fully expecting for this game. So I had the white pieces, and I opened with d4. And I had seen both in the database, in my chess base, and after having found his online user account, I saw that he almost always played this move order and allowed the Catalan. So I was happy, I could prepare the Catalan, and I could more or less know that I would get this position. But he surprised me here by playing the main move, bishop to e7. And I spent a lot of time looking at lines with d takes c4, knight f3 and c5, which is what he has played a lot. And I must say, this is a very, very solid line, and I went through almost every conceivable idea of how to play against this. I was intending most likely to play this, to castle and take on c5, which seems to be kind of a modern way to play against this. Play here, knight b to d2. I also looked at knight f to d2, which is a way to try to win this pawn without damaging your pawn structure. The key thing always in these positions is this bishop, the Catalan bishop, bearing down this diagonal. So I looked at this, I had some ideas here, and honestly, I had looked at a lot of stuff, but I hadn't decided, what I wanted to play in the game. I was leaning towards playing this line that I had looked at with a4, which gives a little bit of pressure. I was thinking about maybe playing this and knight a5, which again gives slight pressure. If black finds the best moves, he's very close to equalizing. So I had a lot of ideas here. I also looked at some early knight a3s and other stuff. But all that kind of went down the drain with bishop e7. So after bishop e7, I thought, okay, he's going to play the main line. I've been looking at that, I'm fine with that. So I played knight f3, he castled. And this is the main line of the open Catalan, d takes c4, queen c2. And here, of course, I was expecting a6. When in the past I've been playing the line with queen takes c4, they play b5, we go back, and I played bishop d2, I played bishop f4. Never played the line with bishop g5, but I played these two. And so that might be something he didn't really have time to prepare, so he couldn't have been prepared. But I was intending to play the line with a4 here, which is a more modern line. I've been studying that, so I wanted to test that out. I had studied that before, some games in the European Club Cup, I played the Catalan in the Icelandic League in the game. Well, maybe you saw it. It's a recent game on my channel, so I was willing to play that. But he surprised me. Again, he played b6. Kind of a sideline, so again, I was like, come on. You know, I've been preparing so many lines, and then we get a line that I don't know. So here I'm kind of on my own. I knew that if I played this tempting move 95, one of the ideas is to sacrifice the exchange to play this, and then to take on e5. Now he had played all his moves instantly, so I did not fancy playing this unprepared against somebody that was clearly had his theory up to date in this line. So I wanted to do something else, and I figured, okay, bishop g5 is logical. Get a piece out, and if he allows me to take an f6, I might have some tactical opportunities based on, you know, knight g5 and opening the diagonal. And he instantly played knight d5. So when your opponent plays something instantly, your first worry is have I messed something up, which kind of can't be the issue. There's one move I haven't seen, and then I play bishop g5. I mean, what can be wrong with that? So I took an e7 pretty quickly. When I played bishop g5, I thought I was happy with this trade because it softens, you know, some squares. And I think white is happy generally to give up the black square bishop in the Catalan. Quite often you're playing for this bishop, and then you don't mind having a pawn structure such as this, putting the pawn on e3 on black squares. But then your black square bishop tends to be rather useless. So I spent perhaps too much time here, but I was a bit worried. I kind of wanted to take with a knight if I could, but then again, okay, let's just, you know, regain the pawn and be safe. So here I was expecting something like this when I had to play queen back, but I thought, okay, I mean, I'm not getting mated or losing material, so it should be okay. He played bishop e7. And now we have to get the pieces out. We want to get this guy out, but we have to be careful because, let's say knight b to d2 now. That's not careful because he can play bishop a6, and all of a sudden I can't protect the pawn. So I have to be careful. But I found that knight c3 stops bishop a6 because I can take on d5 with a knight, and I'm hitting the queen, so I get the tempo that I need. He played c5 pretty quickly here again. I figured I'd take it, and he played rook c8. And here, after the game, my opponent mentioned a move that I didn't consider, which I am not very happy about. Should have played c6. I simply didn't consider this move, which is something you should do because it's like a forcing move. And the key idea, of course, is that, you know, whichever way he takes, I can take on d5. And of course, you can't take on c3 because I can probably flick in this one and this guy hangs. So he would have to sacrifice a pawn, probably something like this. I take, or you can take the pawn on e2, but then I get very active pieces. And this is somewhat better for white. So c6 should be played. It's a computer move. The only moves I did consider were b4. Intending, you know, if he takes to get a pawn maturity, but I thought, you know, he gets active play, the knight gets here, you can maybe push the pawn, maybe play a6, liquidate, get some pressure. In the end I didn't like it, so I settled on what I played, which was knight takes d5 and queen f4. And the idea of queen f4 is simply to cover the c1 square. Now he took with the rook on c5. He can take. Well, he can't take with the queen, but then I play rook c1 and take, put the other rook on c1, and I grab the file, which is kind of my idea with queen f4. Grab the file, be able to play rook c1 again, and then penetrate. So I took with the rook. I contested the file, intending to get it. Knight to d7. I took, and of course, I mean, if he takes with the pawn, then I have a slight structural advantage. Can play for b3, rook c1, put pressure on the pawn, blockade this square c4. So he doesn't want to do that. Also, if he takes with the queen, I play rook c1, so he takes with the knight. But I want the c-file, so I'll play b4. And here he has a decision to make. If the knight goes to e4, it's a little bit loose. Once I play knight e5, the knight is under attack. If he goes to d7, I might be able to play this. It's a pawn sacrifice, but it looks very dangerous. I think he had the way to get out of it here. Maybe it didn't. He has to be careful about some, moves like knight c5 at the right time. Knight e5 as well. So I thought this would be good. I was going to check if he played knight e7 and then maybe play something else, but I thought rook c1 would work. Slightly down on the clock, but nothing too serious. He played knight a6. He was worried about me taking over the c-file and getting to c7, so he wanted to cover the square. Okay, he's attacking the pawn, and I'll play a3. So okay, all of this hasn't netted me much, but he does have this knight out of play here. Rook c8. And here I thought, I played almost immediately rook c1. I thought, I'll contest the file. But maybe I should keep it on. That's what the computer says. But okay, I played rook c1. He took it, he contested, and I played queen e3. For a brief second I was like, should I play for tricks, play this? Because it's tempting to go on this diagonal, but then I play e4, and his back rank is an issue. But he's not going to fall for that, so I just played what I thought was a better move, queen e3. Because I wanted to take on f3 with a queen if he takes. Kind of not given time to get this guy out of jail. So knight b8, knight d4. Seems like we're simplifying here, but still, he's trying to fix this knight, and I'm not giving him time. Queen f3. He's not going to get knight c6. And if he wants to get the knight out, he has to go to d7. But then I have this move, queen c6. And I think he more or less has to take. If queen d8, maybe queen d6 with a pin could be annoying. Knight b5 in some positions. But we get this. Okay, he has to play a6. I'm threatening to win his pawn. And here I would like to make these pawns bad and play a4. The problem with playing a4 immediately is that he will play a5. I will kind of have to take, and if I take, he will just play knight c5, and I can't protect his pawn. He will liquidate, and this will be very drawish. So I have to bring the king. But first I thought, okay, I want to grab some space, so I'll play e4. e4, if he lets me, I'll play e5. If he plays e5, he's giving away squares. So he played g5 and brought the king. Didn't want to allow king f6, so I played e5. I didn't want to allow king f5, so I played g4. Played h5, I played a3. And he took on g4. I was kind of expecting this, just so that maybe in the future he might have, after he plays b5, he might have some counterplay based on trying to get this pawn. But again, it's very slow, so probably it doesn't matter. And he took on g4 and played f5. Well, either that or wait. If he does nothing, just temporizes with the king, I will bring the king to d4. And when I've done that, I can play a4 because he no longer has this line where he plays knight c5. Actually, I'll probably bring the king even closer to king to c4 and then play a4. And then he's in trouble on the queen side. So f5, trying to exchange off some pawns and open up some pathways for his pieces. King e4. I was pretty sure I was winning at this stage. I felt very confident. He played b5, king d4, and knight b6. Here I missed almost a killer move, just playing knight e5. The knight is so strong. I'm stopping this. He's not going to play here and attack my pawn. And he's kind of in zugzwang. If he moves the king, my king enters. If he moves the knight, then I come here and then here. And he's not in time to attack my pawn, and I'm attacking his pawn. So knight e5 would have been very strong. But I played knight b8, which should be winning as well. He played knight c4. And here, okay, I was in slight time trouble. This is move 36. I think we got some extra, like 15 minutes rather than half an hour at move 40. And I didn't want to take a decision in time trouble or make a rash decision, so miscalculate something. So I wanted to play a4, but then I saw e5, and I'm like, what's going on here? Because if I go here, it's going to be a check, picking up the pawn. If I go here, it's going to be a check, picking up the pawn. If I go to some other square, like, let's say c3, then he might do something like this. And all of a sudden he has a check here, and then he can take and take. If I can make the arrows work. Something like this. But it turns out a4 should be winning as well. I should play king c5. But again, it's a difficult line to see. a5, I allow this, and king d6 is somehow the only winning move. Come here, and then take this. And then eventually, it's going to be in some kind of zugzwang. And I'm going to win. Some computer line, but which is very hard to see. So I think I went for the human line. I took an a6. He took an a3, and I played knight c7. This is move 38. Again, I'm pretty sure I'm winning here. He played knight c2. Move 39, play king c3. I'm expecting knight a3, but I'm going to play move 40, king back to d4. Just repeat the position. You know, get some water. You know, get some energy, go to the toilet, have a walk around, and figure out the win. But move 39, he took a drastic decision, and he took the pawn on b4. And I wanted this after the time, after the time control was reached, so I could calculate. But it was clear to me I had to take on b4, and he played king e5. So here, okay, now I remember we got extra 30 minutes. And here I spent almost all of them trying to calculate the win. So for me it was more a type of position where I have to eliminate you know, what I can do and what I can't do. And I was quick to eliminate king takes b5, because my king is so slow that getting back here I can't even protect the pawn on f2, and it's going to be a draw. So then I had to calculate king c3. At this stage, I should mention that we had already secured a win for the team. I board 3-1 when his opponent's cell phone rang, which was pretty nice in terms of, you know, trying to win. But okay, these things happen. People should be more aware of that. It's not allowed. And then we had a very young, promising kid on board 5, and he beat up his opponent. And board 4 also won. So we were up 3-0. It's played on 5 boards. So we were doing, we were going to win the match. So no pressure, fortunately, on my game. And I was just happy that the team had won. So maybe I was kind of careless. Maybe, you know, around move 30, 34, 35, I could have, you know, taken better decisions. But in the end I played king c3. And he played b4, getting my king back here. And then he went for the same line, takes the pawn. And then he's going to play g3. And I'm simply not in time here. And this is how the game played out. I took a g3, and he's going to not going to give me the opposition. So I didn't even bother to play what? I played king f3 and offer the draw, which of course he accepted. Unfortunately, and this would have been a very nice game, but unfortunately we, for like the 5th game in a row, I keep the trend of losing half a point per game because I was winning here. And I'm kind of upset I didn't see the idea, because earlier in the end game and after he sacrificed the piece, I was thinking about some positions where I want to get this knight to h6, where it stands beautifully. You know, I want to let him grab this pawn and then get the knight behind. It's an important idea in these kind of endings. So for that reason, I'm pretty upset that I didn't see that I can simply put my knight on f6 and play knight e8. And this is the winning move. If he goes on my pawn, I play knight f6. Well, what can he do? He can only move the king, so king f4. I play this. If he goes back, I simply go for this idea of going to h6. If he goes for the f pawn, take on b5, and then I'm even beating him to the e pawn, and it's just winning. Pretty upset to have missed that. So the game ended in a draw, this draw, but should have found that win, especially since I made the time control. It's just a blind spot, but I need to figure out why this move didn't enter my candidate moves. That's pretty bad, since I spent a lot of time on this move. So pretty upsetting, but we did win a very nice team win. We won 4-1. Board 2 drew as well. Svetoslav Mihailov, one of the guys who got me to play, very nice guy. He invited me to dinner to his house. We had some nice dinner that his wife made, and showed me his stamp collection, which was very nice, very impressive. And we played some blitz, and he showed me Magnus Carlsen's house in Lammedalen, his old house, but yeah, it was very nice. Anyway, so this was my first game, and kind of can't wait to have a look at the second game, because that's one of my favorite games ever, to be honest. This one was pretty good. Would have been very nice if I had seen this 98 idea, which should not be out of my scope of candidate moves, unfortunately. But if I had found it, it would have been a very nice game. But such is life. I played okay, and I was happy with my play. Still confident, and well, let's see what happened next game. See you then. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.